Good morning. So this morning I was reading in Proverbs chapter 16, and a couple of verses struck me as far as biblical leadership and dealing with communication. So it's Proverbs 16 verses 21 and 23. It says, "The wise of heart is called discerning, and sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness." That part right there, sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. And then verse 23, "The heart of the wise makes his speech judicious, and adds persuasiveness to his lips." So I talked about this in the previous video, that as a leader, effective communication is so important. It brings clarity to confusion. And that was the last kind of biblical leadership principle that I spoke on. But for this, I just want to reiterate the importance of effective communication. It says that sweetness of speech, so having that right speech or judicious speech, meaning having that kind of good judgment in your speech or discernment in your speech, having tact, being tactful in your speech, it increases persuasiveness. And leadership, if you listen to any leadership podcasts or read any leadership books, a lot of people will say leadership boils down to influence. It's having influence over the people that are following you. And persuasiveness is a part of that, being able to persuade people to jump on board with the vision that God has given you for the organization, business, whatever it is that you're leading, the people that you're leading. We need to be persuasive to get people on board, to get people to take ownership of the organization and to follow in line with where God is leading. And so as leaders, as biblical leaders, it's important for us to practice effective communication, to train ourselves in effective communication. There's a ton of books on communication, and one of my mentors in the past told me, if I want to be a better communicator, the best way to do it is just practice. And what he said was, anytime, because I used to have a big fear of public speaking, and my mentor said, anytime you get an opportunity to speak, take it. Just do it, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And I tell my students, the more you go, the more you'll grow. What I mean by that is, the more you get out and do it, the more your confidence, your boldness will grow in your ability to speak to people. So as biblical leaders, again, this is another principle. It's important for us to practice effective communication, to really work on our communication, because sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness, and the heart of the wise makes his speech judicious. So we have to train ourselves to do that, and in doing that, it will add persuasiveness to our communication, to our lives. So that's the biblical leadership principle for today.